So 2020, I thought, like everybody else, was going to be a normal year. I had a lot of live projects lined up, a lot of concerts and performances with live audience. I actually remember very clearly what I was doing on New Year's. I performed in Reno, Nevada, in this big casino, and it seemed like such a great way to like bring in the year, and I was really excited. And then out of the blue, this happened, and it was like one cancellation after the next. And after a while, I noticed, okay, basically everything's canceled. And I heard the same from all my colleagues. It's just like they started rolling in these cancellations, and it started to get further and further out. And I think in the beginning of the pandemic, we didn't realize like how long this would actually be. So I've transitioned to like online projects, and I have a lot of great things that I've been doing virtually. So I basically have, converted like all of those events that I was supposed to do live to a virtual setting. So I have some really cool things that I have already done and some cool things coming up. I actually have a concert coming up, a live streamed concert, and that'll be on September 18th. And it's a Friday, and it's 5 p.m. California time, Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time here in the US. And it's a ticketed event. So it's presented through Sparrow Live, which is a organization that was created at the beginning of the pandemic to help support artists. So they are a lovely organization, and they're really helping us to get our art out there and get audiences virtually. So I'm really excited about that. Tickets are $15 US dollars, and they can be purchased on sparrowlive.com. So that's SPARROWLIVE.com. And then if you search through the upcoming events, you'll see I'm right there on September 18th. And the title of that concert is Invitation to a Voyage. So I'm going to be singing some of my favorite songs. I'm going to have 2 pianists play virtually, and then stream. It's scary a little bit to go live, but it's exciting, and I've upgraded my equipment, to adapt. So I've gotten like new mics and new cameras, and yeah, excited about that. Right, there's so many more people doing these online events because that's really all that we have. The only other option would be like an outdoor performance where you have people like really spread out. I've seen some of those. So yeah, that's another option, is like singing outside. But I think what's so cool about the live event is that you can reach people all over the world. It doesn't matter where you are. You could reach so many more audiences than you would if you were just in like a physical location. So I think the silver lining so I actually am going to be in a feature film, and it's called Twice as Strong. And that is going to be filmed in LA, but it's all pending on COVID. And so the shoot dates are still like to be announced. But when we are allowed to shoot, I'm really excited about that. I've also done, during the pandemic, some voiceover. So I did one for a movie where, you can hear my voice. I'm not actually on screen, but it's a cool role. So yeah, I have delved into that. And I'm excited, to go to LA for this shoot when it can happen. It's just, I don't know when, but hopefully sometime soon. It's really been hard on the arts. I feel like the arts have been hit the hardest out of all the industries. It's really been bad for us because, we need to be around each other. We need to either film, in person, or we need to perform music for an audience. It's all about like human contact. That's just so important for our business. So yeah, it's been, I think the arts has been hit the hardest out of all the industries. So, but I do know that we are going to bounce back. I just think it's going to take a while. I think that this pandemic is longer than we initially thought. I think it's going to take a while, but I think eventually, things will go back to like a new normal. I don't necessarily think it will be like exactly how it was right away. But I think, you know, eventually we'll get back there, but it's definitely hit us hard. Actually in the San Francisco Bay Area, and it's really bad here. So in my particular city where I live, we're fine, but it's very smoky. Like I look out the window right now and I can see the sky. You can see the smoke. The air quality is very bad. And these wildfires are, so the ones that sparked like 2 weeks ago, they're contained like 95%, which is great, but they destroyed so much. And this past weekend, yesterday, it was 115 degrees. And the day before that, it was 114 degrees. So more fires started again. There was one in like the Fresno area that just started. So yeah, it's very bad. Like a lot of people had to evacuate. I knew a lot of people that weren't sure if their homes would be there when they got back. And then, like I said, the air quality is very bad all around California. So I had to like get air purifiers, and it's a scary situation because it's like, you know, on top of COVID, now we have this problem with the wildfires and the air, and yeah, it's not great. But I think that in Northern California, we've had a lot, but in Southern California, they've had also, it's all of California is burning right now. It's, you know, it's not good. You can smell it for sure. It smells smoky, like when you go outside. And I have an app that tells me the air quality, so I always check it and, you know, see what the air quality is. Yeah, and it changes every day. I recently played Judy Garland, and that was kind of like my dream role. So if I could do that again, that would be amazing. I love like historical figures that I could embody. So something like that, like, so the Judy Garland role was in a show called The Boy from Oz. But maybe like doing a show all about her where like she's the star. I find that she's fascinating, and I watched the movie Judy and I was just blown away. I think her life is so interesting. So I would say, yeah, doing a show centered around her would be great. Or even another icon would be like Joni Mitchell, like if I could play her, like playing these like people who have actually lived. I love studying and researching these, you know, characters, finding out like the psychology of like what they were thinking while they made certain decisions in their life, and like their family life, their personal life that you don't necessarily hear about on the news or in Hollywood. So those types of roles, I would say, are like my dream roles.